If you watched Bad Bunny's halftime show and thought, that was powerful, you're right. So let's do this today. Let's slow that performance down and extract 5 specific creative decisions that he made that you can apply immediately to your own work. Whether you're a filmmaker, a founder, a teacher, an executive, an artist, doesn't really matter because it's not about music. It is about the mechanics. And by the end of this video, you're going to have 5 clear, actionable moves that you can use right now to elevate your work. Not someday, not in theory, but this week or tomorrow. Decisions that you can make right now. Because what happened on that day, it was not just a performance. It was actually a strategic masterclass in creative clarity. Okay, let's break it down. Here's decision number 1 that you can make. Speak to your core, not to everyone. The dominant creative myth says, if you want to scale, you got to soften. You got to make it more accessible. You got to make your work like smoother, smooth the edges, translate everything out, translate the signals, aim for the broadest possible audience. But Bad Bunny, he did the opposite. He did not translate his lyrics. He did not dilute his aesthetics. He did not redesign himself for a hypothetical general viewer. He just spoke directly from his cultural center. And here's the interesting paradox in art and presentation. Specificity does not shrink your audience, it orients them. When work has a clear center of gravity, people know where they are. Even if they're not at the core audience, they feel the integrity of the work, and integrity builds their trust in you. I've seen this in film repeatedly. When we worked on March of the Penguins, there were suggestions to make it more playful, more family-friendly, jokey, broadly packaged, but we didn't. We treated it like a serious meditation on love and endurance, and that specificity became the engine of its expansion and growth. When you try to speak to everyone, you dilute the signal. When you speak clearly to someone, others lean in. So here's your immediate application. Stop designing for demographics. Name one real person who needs your work. What are they tired of? What do they long for? Build for that person. Clarity creates momentum. Here's your decision number 2. Authenticity is a stack of decisions. You know, we use the word authentic super casually, but authenticity is not personality, it is architecture. It is the accumulation of small, consistent decisions that reflect lived truth. Bad Bunny's performance wasn't authentic because he declared it was authentic. It was authentic because of the details and the rhythms and the staging, visual language, the refusal to over-explain. Those details were not translated for outsiders. They were just there. And the details told the truth before any headline could, any social media could. In storytelling, we often talk about the books on the shelf. If a character lives in a specific neighborhood, the books on their shelf must be the right books. The audience may never consciously register and see the titles of the books, but they're going to feel the coherence of the world. So in your work, your books on the shelf are the references that you keep, the language that you don't sanitize, the experiences you don't edit out to appear more neutral or more palatable. When creators panic, it's often because they think, hey, if I leave this in, someone's not going to get it. Hey, it's okay. Not everyone's got to get everything. The right people need to get it. The right people need to recognize it. Recognition is what creates cultural gravity. Here's your immediate application. Identify one insider detail that you were asked to remove because it wasn't clear enough, but put it back in. Let it act as a signal. Here's your decision number 3. Don't pre-apologize. Look at the posture of Bad Bunny's performance. There was no emotional cushioning. There was no preparatory softening, no signal of doubt, just presence. So many creators pre-apologize before they even begin. They say, hey, this is just a draft, or it could be wrong, but this maybe this won't make sense, but stop it. We think that signals humility. It signals uncertainty. Culture reads posture before it evaluates content. I've listened to thousands of pitches over the years, and the difference between a forgettable and a fundable pitch is frequently not about the idea, but more about the orientation. The creators who succeed, they don't apologize. They just show up and they focus your attention. They say, here's the vision, here's the path, here's why it matters. They are not louder than everybody else. They're just clearer than everybody else. Now, look, this doesn't mean arrogance. It means coherence. When your decisions align with your values, you don't need disclaimers or apologies. You can be open to critique without pre-diminishing your authority. Here's an immediate application. Review your last 5 professional emails, and if you have hedging words like just, I think, maybe, or sort of, notice the shift in clarity, take them out, replace the apology with an explanation, because confidence isn't volume. It's alignment. Here's your decision number 4. Offer a future, not just a moment. The halftime show did not feel like a one-off gig. It felt like a declaration. It felt like continuity. It suggested a future in which this cultural voice doesn't visit the mainstream. It is part of the mainstream. It shapes the mainstream. People do not organize their energy around isolated moments. They organize around trajectories. In leadership, this is critical. If a CEO says, we're going to be fine, everybody says, uh-oh, we're not. But if the same leader says, well, in 18 months, because of the work we're doing today, we are going to be the market leader in this space, people commit. Because direction generates trust. When creative work implies a future, it feels magnetic. When it feels like a temporary flash, it fades away, and it's scary. Bad Bunny's performance implied inevitability. It said, this is not an exception, this is a shift. So ask yourself, does your work imply a next chapter? Here's your immediate application. Complete this sentence. A year from now, because this exists, my audience will blank. Then communicate that trajectory. Sell the direction, not just the deliverable. Hope works when it includes a roadmap. Here's your decision number 5. Channel life force, not perfection. This may be the most important one. The performance worked because it was alive. You could feel the commitment in the body, the energy moving outward, presence rather than management. We live in a culture obsessed with polish. We adjust the slides, we tweak branding, we refine endlessly, we use AI to help us, but vitality registers before precision. In film production, we look at the foot dailies every day, and within seconds we know if a scene works, not because of the lighting, not because of wardrobe, because of the life in the eyes. If the life is there, you can fix the lighting later. You can change the costumes, but if the life in the eyes is missing, no post-production can save it. The same is true in a classroom. If I'm managing my image, wearing it about like, is my hair combed, is my shirt tucked in, the room cools down. But if I am fully present and engaged and listening and responding, the room ignites. Polish should refine energy, not replace it. Creators often trade vitality for safety. They remove the bold statements, they tone down conviction, they smooth the edges to avoid friction. But friction is often where electricity lives. It's also about creating moments that surprise and delight, like when Lady Gaga and Cardi B just showed up, unexpected, unannounced. So what can you do right now or tomorrow to surprise and delight your audience? Here's one immediate application. Identify one sentence or action or move or image in your current project and work that feels a little bit dangerous. Put it back in. See what happens. Energy precedes polish. So let's step back all the way back for the final moment now, and let's just see the pattern beneath that performance. What did Bad Bunny's halftime show demonstrate that we can use right now? Clarity of audience, integrity of detail, absence of apology, direction toward a future, presence of life, proof of life. These are not celebrity advantages. These are creative mechanics. The dominant playbook always tells us that we've got to scale to and dilute ourselves to scale. But scale requires signal strength. And when you become unmistakable to your people, the signal travels farther than you expect. When you blur yourself to reach everyone, the signal, it weakens. So here is a closing question. What edge of your work have you been sanding down in the name of growth? And what would happen if you sharpened it instead? Because breakthrough doesn't come from being acceptable. It comes from being unmistakable. And these 5 moves, speaking from your core, trusting details, removing apology, offering direction, and choosing vitality, these 5 decisions are available to you right now. Not when you're asked to do the halftime show, not when you feel ready, not when there's a giant big stage, but right now you can do it in your work, big or small. That is the lesson behind the Bad Bunny halftime spectacle. And that's the opportunity in front of all of us, in front of you. If you'd like more breakdowns like this, let me know. And let me know what decisions you can commit to making right now to bring your work to the next level.